Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us tmosso at the1916company.com. That is the purchase and pricing email question line for inquiring about the price of this or any of our watches. Email us for pricing at tmosso at the1916company.com. Today we're discussing a 2023 limited edition of 100 pieces in PVD blackened grade 2 titanium. This is the Tutima and Revolution M2 Coastline Chronograph, a 100-piece edition based on the M2 Coastline Chrono that came out in 2019. It is also an homage to the Model 798 that was selected for the German Armed Forces back in the 1980s and still used to this day. So the watch with a distinctly cushion-shaped case, a combination of the vision of Tutima of Glashütte, Germany, and Waco of Revolution magazine. 43 millimeters in diameter. It is 16 millimeters thick. You can see it's quite compact lug-to-lug at 44 millimeters. A difficult way to describe these lugs because you can see the strap is highly custom and broader than the lug spacing itself, but the spacing between the lugs is 20 millimeters. Just note that the strap is much broader than that. Taking a quick look, you could see that we have a combination of super durable Kevlar fiber with a contrasting green stitch and then rubber on the bottom of that. There is no crimping, there is no gouging. This is a brand new Tutima factory strap. You can see how it conforms seamlessly to the case flank as well as the swell of the case profile. We have here a blackened titanium clasp twin trigger release, so it will not pop open until you press the triggers. And then there's actually a lock built in. We have this little trap door that allows the strap to be secured inside the buckle. What happens is it folds down and locks the buckle into place. So there's no danger of a pull through, which can sometimes be the only pitfall of a folding clasp if the strap pulls through the buckle. The idea behind a folding clasp is that you will not drop your watch, and thus you will not drop this one. Water resistance is impressive. With a screw-down crown, this is 200 meters water resistant, quite a bit more than a standard pilot's watch, which tends to be between 30 and 60. Now, it is a blackened PVD titanium case, and you can see that the profiles are stark. It's satin finished. It has a few strong, well-chosen character lines, but it has the look of a monoblock. It's an imposing thing, and you can see it is a monoblock, as the top of the case and the flank of the case effectively all one part, so we don't have a distinct large separate bezel assembly here. The dial, black, matte finished, designed for high legibility and high contrast. We'll do a quick loom shot so you can just see how good the contrast is even in the dark. No shortage whatsoever. We have a hacking seconds function to stop the watch to synchronize to a reference time, and then a quick set function to rapidly cycle the date. One of the features that led to the original 798 winning the German military contract, the large, easily pressed and flush chronograph pushers. So they're difficult to actuate accidentally. They're easy to find when you want them, especially with gloved hands, as you might have in an aircraft, but also they're unlikely to dig into your wrist and cause injury, which is one of the other reasons this design was considered desirable for military purposes. On the wrist, the watch is broad in as much as there's some stiffness to the strap, but you can see what I mean when I say that. See how there is a little bit of inflexible outward flare to the strap, but it does curve down around the wrist. So for the most part, you're going to read this watch as it relates to the edge of your wrist, and you can see that the lugs are well inboard of the edge of my wrist. Just understand this is going to be a fairly broad watch across the wrist, which you can see well from the top, but you can also see even from an angle that exaggerates the width of a watch across the wrist, these lugs being only 44 millimeters apart are so far from the edge of my wrist. It is, however, thick. Now on the reverse side, we have what Tutima calls a T310. I call it a Valjoux 7750 architecture. They're very proud of the genuine rose gold polished and media blasted medallion that they place inside of their rotors. And this is a unidirectional winder with a 48-hour power reserve. Again, 4 Hertz beat rate, 25 pivot joules, hacking seconds, quick set date. and it features a cam for chronograph selection, albeit one that is very crisply tuned. There's no softness or doughiness in this cam. It sounds and feels good, like an average column wheel, and that's no small compliment to a cam-based system. This is quite crisp. Now, you can also see, if you look at the seconds hand, when I start the chrono, it starts without any jump or stagger, because when you press and hold to start a oscillating pinion clutch chronograph, there isn't a whole lot of jump. It's a form of lateral clutch that has very little inherent play, and it's coming back into favor at the high end of the market. Journe, Richard Mille de Bethune, which I find a little bit funny because the 7750 has always featured this architecture. Go figure. A fun watch, a lovable watch, a versatile watch, ready for fun in the sun for summer 2024. This is exactly the kind of watch that you take on vacation, take off on a staycation all weekend long, a trip to the shore. This is a watch you can wear just about all the time. And if you've got the panache, you might even be able to pull this thing off in office attire. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.